أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So the more portion of the Quran you have in your chest is better. If you are not full-fledged hafiz, that's fine. So it never means that you should not increase your memorizing. Quran is like a lamp, right? So if you have the whole Quran, you have every ayah is like a lamp. So if you don't have all the lamps, at least you get as many as you can. And then to memorize like 1 or 2 words while driving every day. Keep on adding. Illuminate your brain and mind with the light of the Quran. So look, I was telling you that now when you know the meaning, it's very easy for you. Look at the structure. That you will say, Ar-Rahman is the one who has bounties upon us. Then the bounties of two kinds. One is spiritual, and the other is material. Then the spiritual bounties, I told you that this should be the natural order, but to emphasize the importance of the Quran, Allah brought that Ta'leemul Quran is number 1, and then Takhliqul Insan, and then Ta'leemul Bayan. Okay? So Takhliq is important because if a person is not existing, what you going to do with it? But if takhliq is there, creation is there, but he don't have Quran, so he's like a wild animal. Even the animal is better than him. So Ta'leemul Quran is very important. Ta'leemul Quran is dependent on one, and the quality of bayan. How we can express one another if the bayan was not there? And then this bayan or expression is given to both insan and human being full-fledged. Other animal communicate like here and there, but the full-fledged bayan and expression in tahrir and taqreer, isharat, kinayat, it is only given to insan and jinnat. But Allah mentioned here only the insan. Why? Because jinnat, the teacher of the insan is jinnat. Okay, so insan teach the jinnat also, and the other insan also. And jinnat only teach the other jinnat. So that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned specifically only insan. So when you are memorizing, this will be your mind, the structure. Ar-Rahman, these 3 bounties you will memorize. Then after that, you will go to the material bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in that, the first one will be like falakiyat, the sun and the moon system, and how much we are dependent on them. Okay? So even the waves in the ocean is linked to the qamar, to the moon. And look, all our food is dependent on the sun also, ripening everything. So this is the falakiyat. Then the second one is nabatat. Okay? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all the vegetation and the thing for us. Then also after that, after the sun and the moon, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically mentioned about the sky. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Allah raised the sky. Then what is the opposite of the sky? The mizan? No. The opposite of the sky is the ard. So whenever Allah mentioned the sky, the next thing in muqabal should be the earth. But Allah delayed the mention of the earth. Look here. وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ. Okay? So now here, look here. In the middle, you connect it like this. Look, وَالسَّمَاءَ رَفَعَهَا. He raised the sky. Right? And then what is the opposite? وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا. Okay? And he put down the earth. He spread out the earth. So what was so important that Allah suspend in the middle of the earth and the sky, Allah brought something. That is what? Adal, mizan. If there is no adal, there is no justice. So the sky and the earth, they will be full of fasad, and there will be no peace and tranquility. So Allah mentioned the mizan, the adal, the justice here, and then the next 2 ayah is explanation of the adal. And then Allah came back to the earth. Okay, sama and the earth. And then then the next one was the ocean. Okay, and whatever bounties we are getting we are fishing and all and transportation and the diamond and the pearls and everything. So these 5 material bounties Allah will be mentioning as compared to the 3 spiritual ones. All right? Okay, so now look here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, out of the material one, the first one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Ash-shamsu wal-qamaru bihusban. The sun and the moon, they are bound on a calculation. Okay? So husban is like a masdar, like a root word. Like Qur'an, Subhan, Ghufran, this is one. Like normally we know one wasn't of the masdar, like Dwarbun, Rahmun. Okay? So, but masdar has so many awzan. So one of them is fu'lan. Remember, don't confuse it with fa'lan. Fa'lan is mubalagha, Rahman. This is fu'lan. So this is masdar, like a root word. So the sun and the moon, they are bound on a calculation, which means they don't need any maintenance, any greasing, nothing, and they are like a millisecond to millisecond. And since Allah created the heaven and the sky, until the day of judgment, they will be bound on that calculation. Okay, and that is the other one of the benefit is the calculation. And remember that Allah mentioned both. So the sun calculation is also Quranic according to this, and the moon calculation is also Quranic. But the moon calculation, our Hajj and Ramadan depended on it. It's first kifaya. Okay, to take care of that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that second one is nabatat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَالنَّجْمُ. Najam is that plant which has no stem, no trunk. Like for example, grape. Okay, they're called najam. And the famous meaning of najam is the star also. So minority of the mufassirin explain it as a star, and 90% of them take it because of the shajar. Shajar is the tree with the trunk, and najam is the plant without the trunk. So that is the most famous meaning, okay? And they're called vine. Okay, so that stemless, the trunkless plants was shajaru, and the one with the trunk, yasjudan, they both do sajda. So sajda is haqiqi and ma'nawi both. Okay, so haqiqi sajda mean what? Because everything has consciousness, shu'ur, according to the Qur'an. Okay, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُم. So they will be doing sajda. Okay, and some of the hukama also say that this whole alam is in sajda, or in ruku, or in qiyam. Okay, so the animal which crawl, they are all the time in sujood. And the one which are bending, like the cow and the camel, they are all the time in ruku. Okay, and the one which is walking straight, like insan, they are all the time in qiyam. So this is how, and you can do ala hadha al-qiyas, the tree and the mountain and everything is what? They is subjected to the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So yes, judan mean they are prostrating, which mean they are obedience also. Okay, this is the najam and the shajar. Okay, and I think this should be enough because they are all related, and it's today's Jum'ah. Go ahead.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ash-shamsu and the sun, wal-qamaru and the moon, bihusban, are bound to the calculation. One najmu and vine, wash-shajaru and trees, yasjudan, are prostrating.
Right? Okay, ash-shamsu wal-qamaru. And here?
Nun mushaddad ghunna, one najmu, qalqala, najmu.
Yasjudan. Bolo.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان.
Okay, وآخر دعوانا